Hi, friends. I'm Katie.
And I'm Lauren, and welcome to Okay, but Did You Know? A podcast where we talk about the TV and media that we love with a friend who's never seen it before.
Today, we're recapping and chatting about Bob's Burgers, Season 5, Episode 11, Can't Buy Me Math, and Episode 12, The Millie-churian Candidate. That's a word.
It is a
Candidate.
word. Candidate is a
It
word.
is. But we're going to start off with a synopsis for Episode 11 and Can't Buy Me Math. Linda is excited for Valentine's Day and makes a Valentine Advent calendar since Bob is bad at romance. Tina is struggling with math and decides to get a tutor to keep herself out of remedial math. She asks Darryl to tutor her, and he says he'll tutor her if they fake date so he can get Rosa to notice him. He convinces her Jimmy Jr. will be interested in her if they win Cupid's couple at the dance. Jean and Louise agree to keep Tina secret if they get the $50 gift card for frozen yogurt when they win. Tina teaches Darryl how to be a good boyfriend while they fake date, but she doesn't seem to get much tutoring. The two kiss, and Tina ends up with a crush on him, leading to complications when they stop fake dating. Tina outs herself and Darryl about their fake dating scheme, and Rosa and Jimmy Jr. aren't happy. Tina finds Rosa to tell her that she should still be with Darryl because they're meant to be. Tina ends up in remedial math with Jimmy Jr., though. Bob and Linda work their way through the Valentine's Advent as unsuccessfully and struggle to spark any romance. Bob goes all in for a striptease for Linda, and they forget the curtains are open. Instead of letting the people on the street bother them, they let their freak flags fly. That is a confident marriage.
Yes, it is.
Oh, you didn't like Bob's striptease?
You know what? I admired his commitment to the bit, but I was like, why did you not check that your curtains were closed first?
He was so nervous, I feel.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because he was trying. He had to start, he had a false start. He had to try
He's
again.
like, wait a minute, let me go
I, tr-
shave my chest.
I didn't finish shaving. Don't look at my back.
So we had an interesting thing happen because I did end up messaging you about this when it comes
Yes.
to our lovely puns.
Yeah.
The wiki actually has different ones listed with pictures.
Yeah, so they did have it in the episode because when I was writing them down, what I wrote down the first one was that I've got Crab's Hermit Crab Emporium, and then I wrote
Mm-hmm.
down, is this a repeat? And then I saw the My Fair Brady. I'm like, this we saw this recently, so I went back and
Yep.
looked. What's on Hulu is the opening sequence for
Mm-hmm.
that's identical to Speakeasy Writer, which was 2 episodes ago, or one podcast
Yep.
episode, but 2 episodes ago for the show. So I was like, that's weird.
So later this week, I'm gonna head back up to my library because we support local libraries, and I'm
hmm
gonna see. They do have Bob's Burgers on DVD in their selection. I'm gonna grab season 5
Okay.
and actually go in and watch the DVD. So the next episode, hopefully, I'll have hey, here's an update on this episode.
hmm
But what and see if they're on the DVD instead.
Yeah.
Because there is no explanation that I have been able to find as to
No.
why
Well, because
they're different right now.
what I was telling you before was like normally like when you see like
Mm-hmm.
differences between like the initial airing and streaming or like a DVD release is like music, because like this is very common. Like the one that I can think of
Mm-hmm.
especially is like the L Word, the music that we now hear on all the streaming services. For a lot of them, I mean, some of them are the right songs, but a lot of
It
them
was like
got
the Charmed
changed.
theme song they use.
Yeah, a lot of them got changed because the streaming services or whoever bought the rights to the show didn't buy the rights to use that music.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was there for the initial airing, but it's not there because also a lot of them are like pre-streaming really being a thing. Stuff gets changed, but that's music rights. A pun doesn't seem like something they'd lose. They can't lose rights to. But what the pun is, I told you what I told you. Hulu might
Yeah.
have deemed it too inappropriate.
So what it did use is the one from it was Speakeasy Writer, if I'm correct. They
Yeah.
reused those on Hulu, which was I've got Crabs, Hermit Crabs, and the My Fair Sprady Exterminators.
hmm
But on Wiki, it shows us that the vacant storefront was feel like making make your own gloves and mittens for the vacant
And
storefront.
which when you told me that, I said sounds like sound. I mean, it does sound like a condom joke, which is probably what it was. But that might be why they
Probably.
deemed it inappropriate if that's the reason why.
Which is interesting though, because the other one for the pest control truck was Mice Sharona Exterminators, which was for the Knack song My Sharona.
Yeah, which is fine.
So, but that's fine. Um, there was one note that says just when we're originally aired, they used these. So I'm
hmm
like, okay, so what is happening? So I don't know.
I don't know.
But we did have a burger of the day,
There was one burger of the day, and that was the Let It Snow Peas burger.
which is interesting.
I mean, I guess I can't say snow peas would be a burger I'd put on unless it was like a teriyaki burger situation. Maybe
Oh, I could see that. That
I
actually sounds pretty good.
I could see that being good. But yeah.
So we have a few fun facts, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and to start off, this episode the title is a play on the Beatles song "Can't Buy Me Love,"
Yes.
which with Speakeasy Writer and all the other different things with the bikers, my brain just kept going to "Can't Buy Me Meth," and I'm like, no, that's not right.
That's not accurate.
That's not accurate.
No.
This is our second Valentine's themed
Mm-hmm.
episode. Last one was my Fuzzy Valentine, which I enjoy the Valentine's episodes. I think they're cute.
I feel like shows don't do them often enough anymore.
They really don't. The book Darryl is reading in the cafeteria when he's like staring at Rosa is You Robot, a play on I Robot,
Oh,
which I thought was really funny.
That's cute.
There's a cat in here. What the
kitty.
fuck?
Where do these animals
They just
pop out?
appear.
Cats are shadow
okay.
demons.
You've watched Parks and Rec, right?
I have.
So you're very used to Aziz Ansari. I swear he sings in everything.
Mm-hmm.
So Darryl and Rosa's voice actors are Aziz Ansari, and of course, Rosa is played by Jenny Slate, which is very funny because they also played love interest in Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Gotta love Jenny Slate, though. God, I love her. If anybody's been watching The Bear, I've got 2 episodes left, but there's a certain character they keep talking about that no one has shown in this big family. And I told my husband yesterday, I was like, if Francie Fack is not played by Jenny Slate, I don't want it because she'd be perfect. I need you to go watch The Bear just so you can show me love and understand what I'm talking about.
Okay.
See, this is what this is what the podcast is.
It's showing our love of our favorite media with a friend who's never seen it before.
Exactly. This episode was watched by 1.94 million households, making it the second lowest rated episode of season 5.
Interesting. Okay. That makes sense.
And then on July 16th, ironically, it's now the first day of July as we record this, 2015, it had been announced that this episode had been nominated for the Primetime Emmy in the Outstanding Animated Program. It lost to Over the Garden Wall.
Oh, okay.
But I think that's so funny. They're like, oh, this is the second lowest rated episode of season 5. It was still nominated for a Primetime Emmy.
Yeah, well, because my guess is they probably, they decided for the storytelling alone is probably why they submitted it, because I'm sure they I think you can submit a couple different options for certain things,
like a holiday and this and that.
Yeah, well, because if I remember correctly, that's why it's the joke. It's the Dick in a Box thing or whatever it was, because it was SNL submitted a bunch of different songs for Emmy nominations.
Dick in a Box is so good,
and Dick in a Box is what got nominated and won, I believe. Now I need to look up a tangent real fast.
Woohoo!
Yoo-hoogle! Because I'm thinking, I can't remember if this specific song was just nominated from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend or if it actually won.
Fair. Seriously, we just need Yoo-hoogle shirts. Who would buy one?
Anybody want merch?
Right? Is it time? It may be time.
One of these days we'll come up with merch.
One of these days. We're coming up on a year.
I mean, we are. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend was nominated.
All right.
For an Emmy, original music and lyrics. Let's see.
Nice.
It won a couple times, or it won at least. They won a decent number of Emmys. It's for the music themselves. So they were nominated for "We Tap That Ass All Over the House,"
nice,
which is a great song. It's got Santino Fontana and Vincent, I don't remember the rest of his name, tap dancing on a giant butt. It's hilarious. They won. They did win the 2019 Outstanding Original Music and Lyrics for the song "Antidepressants Are So Not a Big Deal," which is, it's a great song. It's also got tap dancing in it, ironically enough, and that's the one that was, even though I'm not a big fan of the source material that they were riffing off of, it was a La La Land spoof. But I love the song. Material? I'm not the biggest fan of La La Land.
So far away from any type of musical stuff that I can actually take in. I love almost everything I watch because I have no access.
Well, because this is my thing, is the big thing with La La Land that they were saying was this is an homage to the golden age of musicals, and a lot of stuff they used as examples was stuff from the Singing in the Rain era, so the 1950s, and I've seen a decent chunk of those kinds of musicals, and my dad and I kind of both agreed, we're if anyone has seen any of those musicals, they would know this is not very good.
So as somebody who hasn't,
comparatively, like if you're gonna compare it to those musicals,
that's
you
fair.
better do it
Then you
well.
had the whole Parasite debacle.
Like if you're gonna be brave, if you're gonna be brave, you better be
I'm
tough.
one of those people. I was actually talking to somebody recently about this. I had met some people that have seen a lot of musicals, especially on Broadway, and I was just like, I take what I can get because I can't get a lot. For a lot of us who are
Mm-hmm.
nowhere near you, New York, I think the only one I've seen on stage is Rent, and that's because they toured in my area. I had one chance and one chance only because they were only here for
Mm-hmm.
one night, and I ran
Yeah,
at
that's fair.
that. So like, as the one thing I could ever see. So it's if it doesn't come near you, you don't get to see it
Yeah, like if you
a lot of the times.
no, yeah. Well, if you can get like
Hmm.
access. I mean, to the movie, Singing in the Rain is a movie. I'm trying to think of. I think the Bandwagon is a good
Hmm.
one. Like I like the Fred
Yeah.
Astaire kind of those era movies. Like that's what it was meant to
Okay.
be an homage to. Is like that era of movie musicals. And like I think the act like I really feel like Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling did the best that they could. I don't think the fact that I dislike the movie was their fault or their performance's fault. My
Hmm.
issue mostly has to do with the
Yeah, I
writing,
love them. I
not so
love the
much the
two of them
performances.
so
I
much.
think
I
they did their
love
best.
watching them perform together.
I think they did a great job. Yeah, they're phenomenal together. But I think it was just a case of like it's a
Okay.
Pasek and Paul musical. I think I'm pretty sure. Now I'm looking that up also as well just to make sure I
The most
don't slander the
ironic
wrong
part of
person.
this entire conversation is today's episode wasn't it titled did you know that we need a producer because we went on tangents?
we go so we go so far off tangents. We're now talking about La La
It's
Land.
okay.
I'm double checking. It's okay. I'm double checking that I am slandering the right musical person, and it doesn't look like I am. So okay, so I'm just not. So I take back what I said. I think. All right, now I see music by. Why did I think this was past? Oh no, it is though. Okay, it was. So the film. Okay, the score was this guy. It is Pasek and Paul that did like the lyrics for this. So I can slander them. I dislike
Oh,
most
okay.
Pasek and Paul musicals. I find their storytelling structure it just doesn't work for me, which is that then that's a
That's
personal
fair.
observation. That's not a
Hmm.
dig at anyone that likes those musicals. Like I like select songs from The
I
Greatest
like
Showman.
select songs
I
as
don't like it all as
well
a whole.
of that one.
Like I like select songs. I actively avoid ever
Oh,
learning
I don't
anything
need
from
to
Dear
know
Evan
any of
Hansen.
that.
I think the premise I think the premise of the musical is ridiculous. I think the music is not as good as people like to think it is. And it's one of those things of
Hmm.
like and we'll go back to Bob's Burgers in a second. I'll get off my
Promise, I have a fun
soapbox.
one for you after it.
We have a point here, but like it's one of those things of like I say this on my lives a lot with the singing lives. There are some musicals that like people that I dislike love so much I refuse to learn them out of spite.
I'm okay with this.
So Dear Evan Hansen's one of those. Newsies is one of
Never
those.
seen it.
Yeah, I have no desire. I get a request for Santa Fe every single time, and I'm like, don't know it, can't do it. Sorry. Hamilton was that for a while. Eventually, I gave up on that one.
I have to say that I hope I'm not wrong in my opinion, but I am excited that they're going to film Merrily We Roll Along.
Oh no, that I'm very excited to
I'm
see.
so excited. I mean,
I'm
Jonathan Groff
so
finally
excited
got
for
a
that.
Tony, man.
He did. I'm so excited for
With
that one.
Daniel Radcliffe.
It was directed by Maria Friedman, which if anybody has not seen this, and again, we will get back to Bob's Burgers in a second.
Promise. We just
Maria
really like
Fried
musicals.
we do. Maria Friedman was the narrator in the film version of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, which is Andrew Lloyd
Ooh.
Webber musical. Donny Osmond, not Danny, Donny Osmond plays Joseph in that. We definitely watched the hell out of that. Like, and I say we, I mean
Mm-hmm.
me. If you could destroy a DVD, I think I would have with how many times I watched it. It was, and so she directed that version of
Yeah.
Merrily We Roll Along, and she's worked with Sondheim a lot, so she knew what he would have wanted out of this production, and like it makes the whole thing so much richer. And
I
I'm very
can't
excited
wait.
to see that pro shot. So back to
Oh,
Bob's
I can't
Burgers.
wait. Do you want to hear about the games that were seen in the arcade?
Yes.
Okay, so here are the ones this is at the spare change lanes, which I love the name of the bowling alley. We're big on bowling, so it made
Yes.
me really happy. But the store it has Moats was one,
Mm-hmm.
Lane Merger,
You know that is high intensity.
Space Runner.
Okay.
Said 3 games first seen at Family Fun Time, so like I kind of like that you kind of see the games a lot that
Mm-hmm.
you've already seen before.
Yeah.
Smash'em
Okay.
Rockstar, that's a pinball
Nice.
machine.
Okay.
Raceway and Goody Grab,
Nice.
which I think they're all funny.
I think so.
And I'll just leave you with my first note, which is just Teddy. This has nothing to do with you.
No, I wrote down Teddy, go away.
Like, he kills me.
No, he wants to be involved, but like, please don't involve yourself in their
He's so
like,
lonely.
because a Valentine's Day advent calendar is a cute idea, but
I thought it was great.
it does bring to light that they are both kind of bad at Valentine's Day.
It does bring that to light, which I'm really happy about. But then, like, because like the sexy cooking got me because
I
I'm
mean,
like,
sexy
yes,
cooking's
sexy
not
cooking is a thing.
it's not a bad idea, but maybe not during the lunch rush.
And yeah, whipped cream and burgers. Like, can we?
No, and not the strawberry in the dish rag.
Yeah, no, that her
No.
gag. I love how he's like, Lynn, you're gagging. Like,
She's like, no, it's fine.
it's fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine. Eat the strawberry.
But who doesn't love a fake dating trope?
That's one of my favorite tropes, personally.
I know.
It is. I'm trying to like look at my romance shelf. Like, I can't pinpoint exactly how many of them are fake dating, but a good chunk of them, I would say.
You've recommended quite a few of fake dating to me.
I have. Was there fake dating in Love at First Sight? I don't remember anymore.
Not
Not in that one.
That one was an interesting premise with the dating because it was like the girl's brother was like, "Can you entertain her so she'll leave me alone?"
Yeah.
So it wasn't really fake dating, but like
Not
maybe one
entirely.
ended. It wasn't an agreement to fake date.
Yeah.
It was more so,
Yeah.
hey, can you get my sister off my back? And she
Yeah,
did.
more of that.
Yeah.
My
brain
worked
almost
real
said
well.
something.
It worked real well.
It worked real well. She
I'm
definitely
trying to think. So
someone else is on their back.
Mm-hmm. So, see, because Written in the Stars is that one. I haven't made you read that one yet.
No.
That one's fake dating. Iris Kelly is fake dating.
Yep, I read Iris
You
Kelly.
haven't read Kiss Her Once for Me. That one is it's fake fiance, but she falls in love with the fake fiance's sister. Which is a little different. Take a hint. Danny Brown is fake dating. That's a good one.
I'm still working through my list, but I'm down to only.
I think there's only one left.
I only have one left because I'm not counting One Last Stop right now.
Yeah, that doesn't count. Well, I'm trying to think. Well, I didn't send you that.
No, I bought that.
But I'm trying of the ones that I've sent you. Triple Sec. I mean, Neon Gods doesn't entirely count because you have to read that whether you want to or not. But
Triple Sec is on my side table.
Triple Sec is, I think, is the only one left that you haven't read.
It is, which was my present from Lauren. I got
for
Lauren
the anniversary.
The Burgers of the Day board, and she got me another Sapphic book, which is not. I'm not complaining.
No, and it's a good one. I'm halfway through it, and I put on Instagram this afternoon. The couple is too happy for there to be half the book left.
I have enjoyed that. Not all of the books you've recommended to me were third act breakup though, because it gets it's really hard to do.
It's hard to write a good book. It's hard to write a book without a third act breakup well because it's such a common trope and it's such an easy trope to use. Like, I'll admit
now though.
Well, fake dating is also phenomenal, but I'm trying to think of like my own, at least for the upcoming anthology stories. Do any of them have a real? Only one of them has a third act breakup.
Okay.
Of the three that are left, because the Dark Night of the Soul moment for the fall story is more people almost die. That's all that is. It's just
death is fun.
Death is a fun way to get out of a third act breakup. And then for the spring one, it's more of like it's kidnapping. It's not an actual breakup.
Mark clip. All I can think is what you just said. That death definitely is a an interesting way to not have a third act breakup.
Yeah,
I love Jean's line. I knew math was responsible.
Yep.
Because math is horrible.
Math is the worst. I loved Darryl's line of a negative times a negative is a positive. That can't be right. We'll cover that in tutoring.
And then he never tutors her.
No, that's like the thing. With their whole situation, Tina didn't get anything out of it.
Nothing.
I mean, I guess technically speaking, she got closer to Jimmy Jr. because she ends up in remedial math and that's where he is. But she got nothing out of their arrangement other than hurt feelings.
Honestly. And I like Aziz Ansari. He's funny. Darryl's character is fun. I'm really happy for him and Rosa at the end of it. But like this whole time, the whole episode, every time I watch this, I'm like, there's no tutoring. No one's being tutored. Like this is not an equal deal here.
No. And then his line of, I'm losing so much water out of my palms. I'll be dead by morning.
We've all been there, like as kids, when you have your first real crush and all the things. I wrote down at one point, so many bubbles.
There's no way there was any water left. I think like it's basically a paste if you use the entire bottle. Well, because I was like, oh no, they're gonna get stuck in the bathtub, aren't they?
I love
Which
the
they
whole thing.
didn't,
Yeah.
surprisingly.
But the whole thing was like, okay, can y'all get out of the second toilet? Like getting out of the bathtub. I'm like, what are you kids doing?
Nope. It's a
We pee
lot
in
of
the
nope.
sink, we pee in the toilet, now we pee in the tub.
Not
That's
everything with a drain is a toilet.
nope. Clip.
That's the title.
That's the title. Oh God. The last thing I wrote down was just Bob saying, how's this working for you? Because this is my one move. Circle the
He,
globe.
he was doing his best. He was really trying.
He tried his best. I love that he came out in the apron.
Yes, it was part of the shtick. She
Yep.
said to Magic Mike her, and he added some kind of bit to it. And I did see the tattoo this time.
Yes, finally. Like, love you, but yes.
Because I'm never looking for it. I forget about it half the time, but this time it was kind of hard to ignore.
But it's
Because
there.
it was his, well, because the past couple times that we've seen it, it's been like because
End
his shirt rid
credits.
up, or it's the end credits, and I don't always. I mean, I watched as much of them as it is until I can get to the next episode, or it's like it's between like his shirt and his pants, so it's like the tramp stamp kind of thing. Like this was full back.
As
There
he's
was
like
no
trying to close the curtains.
There was no ignoring this.
So what did you rate this?
I gave this one 9s across the board.
Yay! It's a good
So
one.
This
You
is
like your
this was a good one.
Valentines.
Even though this was why are people eating outside in New Jersey in February?
Oh, yeah, there's like
That
no
was-
snow out there or anything.
No, there's like I know it's a seaside town, but it should not be warm enough in that February. If so, our planet is doomed.
I mean, we're actively in a heat wave right now, ironically.
But it's July.
I know, it just started. We're not used to the heat waves till like August.
No.
We're supposed to like slowly heat up from like June, the first day of summer into July. You're like, okay, it's starting to get a little hotter. No, this heat wave, like, no, y'all are gonna burn the first 2 weeks of summer this year.
Well, this will be fun for when people are listening to this episode at the end of September.
You're welcome. I'm hoping it's cooling off now. If it's
Hopefully.
not, we're dying.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully. I gave plot and character 8, and I gave personal 9, so it's 25. I like this episode. It's good. It is what it is.
Like, yeah, this one this one had so many like one-liners. Cause a couple more that I wrote down was like bowling. Did someone say nachos?
Right? It's like you immediately think of bowling alley food.
Exactly. And the last one, they're like Mario and Luigi. They're in love.
Oh God.
Like, I'm pretty sure that was Jean that said that. Or no, it was either Jean or Jocelyn, I feel like.
I could see Jocelyn saying that as well.
Yeah, either way, I'm like, y'all tried. You tried real hard.
That they did. And now for an episode that'll probably surprise me with you.
Yeah.
The season 5, episode 12, the Millie-churian Candidate. I really hate saying that.
It's a terrible word.
It's terrible.
The one that it's based on isn't any better.
Jimmy Jr. is running for class president against Henry Haber, and Louise doesn't want Jimmy to win. Millie decides to run for president, forcing Louise to insist she manages Jimmy Jr.'s campaign to keep her from winning. Louise's work as campaign manager hurts him instead of helping, and Millie gains popularity. Jimmy Jr. quits, and Louise decides to run instead. Millie explains her platform of assigning besties, and Louise loses it during the debate. Henry Haber secretly helps Louise figure out that her and Millie can't be besties because another classmate has a different name, making Abby Louise's bestie. Millie attacks Abby and is disqualified from running, and Henry Haber ends up president. Only Henry Haber put all of this in motion. Bob gets a new expensive knife and ends up battling it out with Teddy over who has the better tool. Teddy destroys Bob's expensive knife in the end. I really didn't need to say too much about the knife story.
That poor knife, though.
That poor knife. I was so angry. It's kind of a trend for the Belchers to buy expensive things and then they're destroyed.
Yeah.
So, but yay, a different vacant storefront now.
Yes, at least. So we had that you can't handle the Ruth baseball cards.
Which I do love, but like baseball cards are not as popular as they used to be.
not at all. They weren't really
And
even that popular when we were kids.
honestly, but the pest control van.
Ant misbehaving pest control.
It's supposed to be ain't misbehaving is what
Mm-hmm.
it's a play on, which that's
Yep.
probably as southern as y'all are gonna get me. Um, it bothers me. It bothers me because it's
Well, isn't Ain't Misbehaving, isn't that a song?
yeah, I think
Okay.
so. It's the ain't part. I can't go from ain't to ant. It
Mm.
it hurts to say,
Yeah, that's
oddly
fair. I
enough.
almost said Ain't Misbehaving. I'm like, that's not right.
Exactly. So our burgers of the day are a little interesting.
Yeah, there were 2 half burgers, and I even checked the wiki to see if I was just missing them.
I love that you checked the wiki.
And the wiki was like, there are 2 burgers that we can only see parts of. And I'm like, there were 2
Yep.
knife pun burgers and they showed us nothing?
Which, like, the first one says "knife to you burger," which is supposed to be a play on "nice to see you."
Yeah.
So I'm like, but what is it?
What
Like,
is
all
it?
you give us is "knife to you." Like, what's on it?
Why? This is my thing. Why go through the trouble of creating a pun that is pertinent to this episode and then not putting it in frame?
I had a feeling you'd be mad.
This is why I have the burger board.
Exactly.
It's
And then
in frame.
I ran so tar burger, a play on the song "I Ran So Far Away" by a flock of seagulls, which is so funny because we were just talking about La La Land,
Mm-hmm.
which they do a cover of, I think, in that one.
Mm.
Do they? Is it that one?
I
don't know. I don't know what
I
I'm
don't
doing.
know.
I think they did. But still, tar what? What?
The world may never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never
unless someone helps us. Did you happen to figure out who Henry Haber is played by?
No, I didn't.
That is Jim Gaffigan.
Oh, okay. We've seen him before, right?
You have. I don't think we've talked a lot about his character because he kind of jumps in and he's
He
very
was in the
rare.
field trip episode.
Yeah. It's kind of rare that you see him.
Mhm.
Of course, Molly Shannon has returned as Millie, your
Mhm.
favorite character. And of course, this is the episode. It's a play on the film The Manchurian Candidate.
Yep.
I've never watched it, and no thank you. The Japanese characters on the Fukunawa knife do indeed spell Fukunawa.
Okay. I like
Which
when
I
we get that
love.
consistency as opposed to Once Upon a Time that just smushes two Chinese characters together and calls it whatever the hell they want to.
Yep. And, uses tasers to kill people.
Who are made of wood.
Things I will never get over.
You cannot electrocute a human-sized puppet. It doesn't work.
Eggs. That's all I have to say. Things I'll never get over.
If you've never listened to a Once Upon a Time episode until now, if you've only listened to Bob's Burgers ones, I think you would enjoy the ones because we get mad about the use of improper science.
Honestly. And then it's just so funny because we also get mad about continuity and the fantasy show that has live action things happening.
Less continuity
struggles
than
with
this show.
continuity. And then you come into Bob's Burgers where Lauren finally saw the tattoo.
Exactly.
Like,
it's just like, who's got the continuity? It's like button, who's got the button? Where's the continuity? I don't know. We don't but this is the thing is like once you become a oncer, you just learn to accept that the continuity just it moves with the show. This new thing you're learning, that's what's real now. That's what's the truth. Ignore everything you've been told for the last 6 seasons. This new thing is correct.
And maybe don't let Belle be like one of your favorites because it'll just continue to piss you off.
I feel I'm gonna say this anyway. I feel like a lot of the people that love Rumbelle are very much the kind of people that in real life are the I can fix him kind of person. Like, honey, you shouldn't have to.
Exactly. So Jimmy Jester. New name. Jimmy Jr.'s first campaign ad is a parody of Dr. Pepper's Be a Pepper series of commercials that aired it was the late 1970s, early 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably look some up soon and send them your way, and I'll throw them in the show notes, hopefully, if I can find these. They had David Naughton in them. His scream that accompanied his leap into the air was a play on wait, that doesn't make sense. How does that happen? It's saying his scream that accompanied his leap into the air is a play on the 2004 Howard Dean scream. So what is it? Jimmy Jr.'s scream is based off that, but the ad is based on why put so much in one thing?
It's a reference inside a reference. It's a reference.
Referenceception. Referenceception.
That's like something Gene would say.
It really is. The second ad for Jimmy Jr.'s campaign is a parody of the It's 3 a.m. campaign ad that produced by Hillary Clinton. in
Okay.
2008. And then the caption, paid for by students who really like snickerdoodles, appears at the end of the ad.
I mean, snickerdoodles are delicious.
I love snickerdoodles. Oh, I should make some. Oh, wait, no, it's too hot to turn on the oven.
Don't do that.
Uh, yeah. Henry Haber's campaign slogan, Chess We Can, is a play on a chant used in Barack Obama's presidential campaign in 2008, Yes We Can.
Mm-hmm.
So, very it's there is some sick irony, lots of
Mm-hmm.
irony today,
Yeah.
to that they very recently, I know they're listening to this in September, but it was very recently the lovely presidential debate that I refused to watch. I've
Yeah, I don't
seen
watch
plenty of clips and memes based off of it, and
Uh-huh.
then we end up watching this.
Yep.
My God.
Mm-hmm.
it's a fun time.
Uh-huh.
And I do want to at least just say one thing before we do the political side of it, because Bob's side of the story is much smaller. We mostly stick around with the kids. But
Uh-huh.
I wrote, as someone who also obsesses over kitchen knives, my dream knife is also expensive. Also, a store wouldn't leave a knife out like that.
No, they would not.
You don't do that.
I
But no,
I
I
also
understand the knife thing
I
so
am
far
aware that you
much.
do. I wrote down, I feel like Bob is Katie in this episode again. I'm with the saleswoman played by Rachel Dratch. A 24-hour cooling off period is best before buying a $300 chef's knife.
I just stare at them lovingly because I can't afford them.
Mm-hmm.
Look, my Williams Sonoma closed a few years ago in my area. I
That's
have nothing.
unfortunate.
I have
No,
nothing.
those are good stores.
I loved it. I would go in there and dream and get the least expensive item I could find,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not exactly a cheap store.
No, it's not. It's like that in Sur La Table. They're great
Mm-hmm.
stores that have like a nice range of things, and but like it's also good like just so you can like see appliances and stuff, so you can like see how it's gonna
Uh-huh.
fit in your kit. Because it's hard to tell when you buy stuff online.
It really is. For me, I'm always okay. I am crazy. I am Bob. You're right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I just have to accept it. I've done the amount of research I've done on like, ooh, which knives do I want? I have pretty good knives right now. They just really need a good sharpening because I can only sharpen so well with my lack of skill.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Henkels are definitely high up on my list, and Henkels are okay. I'm just gonna
You look that up.
let's see if
Well, because like I'm at the point right now where I'm like gathering like a list of things that I'm going to need for a living space soon, and like a lot of it is like I'm trying to get a handle on like what I use, but also like what I get's going to depend on the amount of space that I have, right?
yes.
So like I can say I want all these 5 million appliances, but at the end of the day, like at the end of the day, I may or may not need to buy a microwave. It depends on where I end up. I may not need to buy certain things, but like it also depends on how much space I have and where everything can go. Because like I would love like a Ninja Foodie 11-in-1, but do I have the space for that? Probably not.
Trying to see if I can find the specific This is, yeah, I am Bob. God damn it. I'm
Three
like,
hundred
wait a minute,
dollars.
where's this specific knife that I had my eyes on for like the longest time? But of course, they don't make it easy to find on
No,
anything
no, they never do.
because they're mean. But I think for a while, I think even Gordon Ramsay said he mainly, like, he used Hankels for a long time until he made
Mm-hmm.
his own,
Yeah.
because he has his own line now, which I think is probably great.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't need to go for it just because of the name on it.
Yeah.
Um, Not that I don't enjoy Gordon Ramsay. We know I love Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these now and I'm like, so much is on sale. What the hell? Why are you on sale all of a sudden? Like the paring knife is actually cheap. What
They're doing
happened
a
to the
sale for
expensive
Fourth of July.
ones?
Are they doing a sale for the 4th of July?
Oh, here's the 20-piece set I wanted. All right, this is a 20-piece set,
Okay.
which makes sense. It's not specific knives. There's other ones I had in mind that I can't seem to find right now, but I'll have to look into it. There's just other brands, all the different things you can do, and I'm just going to send you the link.
I need to know how much this 20-piece knife set is.
This 20-piece, you can get 15% off, but this 20-piece block set it comes with steak knives too. That's why it is a 20-piece set.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like I feel like a decent knife set should come. I'm not. I mean, okay, I'm not going to use
Agreed.
declining. I'm declining the offer right now. Holy crap!
The
I
15
mean,
piece is only 300.
okay. I mean, yeah, this 20-piece set that comes with 4 steak knives is $450 for those who are curious. But I mean, to be fair, it comes with the knife block too. I'm assuming
It comes with a knife block. It's
that's
got
a
the sharpener
nice.
in
Oh,
it.
it's 8 steak knives.
It's 8, yeah.
It's 8 steak knives. That's honestly that's not bad. And oh, the knife block is labeled.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, that doesn't
See, it's
seem
worth the
now
450.
now that I'm looking at it, that really, as long as it performs well, that, because honestly, because like, and you know this with kitchen stuff,
Yes.
the more you put in up front, the more you get out of it. So you end up spending
Yes.
less overall. Like if you buy nicer pot and pan sets, you buy nicer knife sets, they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna last a lot longer than the cheap stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
That's
like in
why
the long run, you spend less money.
like I think a lot of the things I've started to pick up is I will recently there's I know it's Walmart, but they have this new the time and table set, but they have a whole set that's like gold and black.
Hmm.
And around my son's birthday, I was making cupcakes and I'm like, I can't find my measuring spoons. My measuring spoons have disappeared, which means the 4-year-old took them and they are somewhere in my house.
Hmm.
And but the day before I had seen these beautiful gold, very, very nice measuring spoons, but they were like $12, which
Mm,
measuring spoons for $12 is a little ridiculous.
yeah.
My husband got them for me.
Okay.
But those are gonna last.
Exactly.
So,
That's like
but
every time like I'm doing something, my dad's like, "See, that's why you want a good pot and pan set. It's
mhm.
gonna last you." I'm like, "Thank you, I'm aware."
And for anybody who's curious, I think the name of Gordon Ramsay's pans, now that we're talking about that too, is Hexclad.
Mm,
Um, and they are very, very expensive.
okay.
Oh, here, not the pans, but I'll send you this one now. The Hexclad knives. This one will be more so of a like, oh my God, Bob moment when you see these. And then we'll talk about the other portions of this episode. But I
Now that
had,
we've
as you said, this is just Katie personified. This will be a long
Yes,
episode. You guys love these.
this is true. Okay, so this
But
is a 7-piece. It's Damascus steel.
it is Damascus steel. But it's only 7 pieces. It comes, but that one of those pieces is the sharpening
Is the
tool,
honing rod? Yeah.
the honing rod. But it's
I mean, four hundred
$400.
dollars is again. It's a magnetic knife block.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
It's
Damascus
because
steel. That's what I would
yeah.
expect out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were gonna tell me like a 7-piece thing of the last thing you sent me was $4, but like
Yeah.
why?
Exactly.
But like I can't say it's worth the price because that's not what I'm willing to spend. Nor do I need Damascus steel knives.
No.
I need knives
Um,
that cut through things so I cannot hurt myself.
a sharp knife is also important not to cut yourself too, because
A
if the
sharp
knife
knife
is
is
not
safer.
sharp enough, yes, a sharp knife is safer. You are more likely to cut yourself on a dull blade.
Yeah, I was.
Look, we talk about food all the time.
No, I
We can talk
know.
about cooking.
We can. I was helping Emily with some prep a few weeks ago, and she had already said
Hmm.
she's like, yeah, I think I need to get a new knife because she got like whatever she could get her hands on
Yeah.
when she moved into her place a couple years ago. And I was like, I said at the very least, let me buy you like a tabletop sharpener because I was cutting an onion. I'm
Hmm.
like, it should not be this hard to cut through the onion, and
No,
like
onion should be really
that's why
easy to
like
cut.
that's why I was like, I'm gonna do this because also her issue is she's like you, she's short, but
Hmm.
she's very slight and very petite, so she's got small hands. So the issue a lot of times why I end up doing
Yeah.
I do a lot of the prep work is because she hasn't yet found like a chef's knife that fits and is comfortable. So she's afraid of the
Yes.
knife, which is not good.
That
She ends
takes
up
practice,
it
though.
does take practice, and like she uses like the smaller, like I guess like the smaller utility knife sometimes just to kind of make sure like it's
Hmm.
more comfortable. Like she's just got to find a chef's knife that is more comfortable for her to use because like I can use a knife of pretty much any size at this point. I haven't tried using
Yeah.
like a meat cleaver kind of size thing
Oh,
yet.
meat cleavers are
I've
fun.
never used one of those, but like for like decent sized chef's knives, like I at this point I've done enough that like depending on the size of the knife, I can usually use it pretty well. But
Before we
she's
move
still
on,
afraid
I
of the
will
knife.
say I think Gordon Ramsay's got a good video on knife handling that could
Hmm.
help. Like, because there is actually I'll say science to it. How you hold a knife, how you
Hmm.
move the knife, how you hold your other hand. Because please claw.
Yep.
That's how you cut yourself. There's so many things to it. I love cooking. Like
You don't say.
I don't. Yeah, you don't say. Um, don't be a greatest. Don't be a greatest.
Don't be a
Okay.
greatest. But to
Don't be
be
a
fair,
greatest.
a class president usually is indicative of one grade, not the entire school.
And it's
Like
also a
usually.
magnet school.
Yeah, so like I really it's not greatest to assume that the class president, quote unquote, would be a 7th or 8th grader,
Not a fourth grader.
not a 4th grader.
Yeah.
Like if anything, they are the 4th grader is the class president for the 4th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Because class is like not indicative of like everyone who's at the school that year. Class is like the class of 2024, everyone graduating
Yep.
2024. Like that's not so like I know we're putting real world logic on this animated TV show, but
Again,
like again, but like to be fair, that's how that would work.
I did. Princess Little Piddles is a horrible name.
Yeah,
Why? Just why?
It's because Millie is the worst.
So I only have a couple of other favorite lines, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
curious if you wrote them down too. Maybe someone who wears braids. Snoop Dogg? Follow Snoop Dogg. I already do. Mostly retweets and recipes.
I did not write that one down.
Oh, but it's so good.
It's a good one. I think I have 3 lines written down.
Ooh, what are they?
So I think chop and it chops.
Yep.
I'm not crying because of the onions. I'm crying because it's so beautiful.
But then he puts the onions on
To his eyes.
like,
Exactly.
no,
Yeah.
Bob.
And then at the very end, Louise going, 2 more ears, 2 more ears. That's what I have. Those are the ones that I have written down.
I did also write down, we're both registered belchers.
Mm-hmm.
I need that on a shirt, man.
Yeah.
Like, especially in a lovely election year.
You need like a one that's like Democrat, Republican, registered belcher.
Belcher. Yep. And then I just want to talk about Louise's file.
It's huge.
It's huge. I was
It's
like, holy
huge.
crap. I love that they're like trying to find Abby's and they're like, oh, is that Abby's file? No, it's yours.
Like, unsurprisingly.
But then Frond starting to explain himself why he's in his own office.
You know, he's a little frazzled. That's all that it is.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But I'm assuming you actually enjoyed this one though.
I did. Well, because like this one, as opposed to the last Halloween episode that we had with Millie, where that one felt like almost like this is something that a kid would I could almost see a kid like that doing, which is why I was like, this is actually a little too real for me to enjoy this. This one was more like Millie was more super villainy in this one, so it was more cartoonish for this cartoon. With her besties program and all that other stuff. Like this was less of like a kid like this is dangerous because they do exist.
Mm-hmm.
None of this would ever happen in reality. No. So I had, and honestly, the fact that it was Haber all along doing all of like the behind the scenes of like he knew that if he got Millie in the race, it would rile up Louise and so on and so forth.
He's smart.
He plays chess. He plays the long game. He knows how to strategize. I didn't see that coming, that he had this all planned from the beginning.
Oh, nice. Would be a great moment.
It was cool. I was like, oh, it makes so much sense. So like this one was unlike the I don't remember what the name of that Halloween episode was that we had Millie in. I still don't like Millie as a character.
What was that one? Was because this season's was Tina and the Real Ghost.
Yeah.
That Fortnite. You didn't like Fortnite.
Yeah, I did not like Fortnite. So as opposed to Fortnite, where that one was like, this unfortunately feels like something that could probably happen. This one was just
with
Millie
the coup.
With the coup and all that other stuff, and Millie's besties program of putting everyone together with an assigned bestie, for alphabetical order. Like it's not a terrible idea. Maybe we don't assign friends. That's probably not healthy.
Yeah, someone you do homework with, someone you do everything with, and I'm like, why are the teachers not shutting that down immediately?
Exactly. Like it's one thing, like some schools have like a mentorship kind of program where like like a freshman will get like like in like high school, like a freshman will get assigned like an upperclassman to like ask questions to, like if they don't know what something is or something like that. That's a little different than basically someone tied to your hip.
Yeah, I would not want an assigned bestie. I don't get along with most human beings. So.
No, I like the opportunity to pick with whom I want to spend my time. So it's not.
Although we'd be pretty close. We could possibly have been besties.
Possibly. It depends on, I guess, on how big the class is. Close enough in first name. And in last name.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like, wait a minute.
Either way. But also, the best, if I'm thinking about it logistically, a school sanctioned program would go alphabetically by last name, not first name, to be fair. If we're going to be real specific here, so I don't know what Millie's last name is.
Frock.
Oh, so then she wouldn't be close at it. But to be fair,
that's why she went. That's why she did the first name, because it's Belcher and Frock. But if you got Millie and Louise together,
exactly. But you have the surprise Abby's first name actually being Mabel,
which I loved.
I'm guessing was a Gravity Falls reference. Also works.
It was.
Okay.
I think it was because Christian Shaw plays a character named Mabel in Gravity Falls.
Yes. So I figured that's what
I thought I wrote that down. Apparently I forgot to.
Yeah. So I figured that's what that was, in addition to it just working for like the foiling everybody's plan kind of thing.
We just like it because it's your cat.
It is my cat, and I can't show you the Lego cat.
You can't get there right now.
Like, it's too far away and there's too many things in the way. But there's pictures on the Instagram. We mentioned it last time of the tuxedo cat that looks identical to the tuxedo cat Lego set that looks identical to my cat. It was not on purpose. My brother literally, he's like, "Did you send Lego a picture of the cat and they
It's
sent you the set?"
identical.
I was like, "No, this was just the set that came out this month, and so I bought it because it looks like Mabel."
Someone just yell at us when this episode comes out, and we'll repost the
Yeah,
Mabel and Lego.
exactly, because it's hilarious how close they look. And like Mabel
The
hates it.
cats were not a fan.
Oh, they hate it
Mabel and
so
Charlie are like,
much.
dude, what did you bring in here?
Exactly, they are not happy. But that, yeah.
Um,
So like this episode was it was surprising how much I enjoyed it at the end of the day. Although I did love my commentary of them in the office was, "You don't touch another man's Zen garden."
You do not.
No, you
Don't
don't.
fuck
You
with
don't.
someone Zen.
No.
What did you rate this?
So this one got an 8 for plot and an 8 for character,
Fair.
because which is fair. You know, it's solid chaos, and even though this was disjointed chaos, and that the Bob storyline and the kid storyline was vastly different, I
But
enjoyed
like
both of
still
I
enjoyable.
enjoyed both of them equally. Like there's times where they feel disjointed that I don't enjoy. I like there's one of them that I don't like, so it's almost like you couldn't have made this tie-in any just somehow to make it like work a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more cohesively. But this was
You like
like
crime.
it was no this was campaign chaos and destroying knives with hammers.
Yep.
But they're both equally enjoyable chaos. And it got a 9 for personal, so this got a 25.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect that with a Millie episode, but like
No, me
everything
neither.
else going on, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
I gave 8 a plot. I gave 8 a plot.
8 a plot. Nice.
My brain's not working this evening. I gave plot 8. And character 6. I really struggle with Millie. I do.
No, that's fair. I mean,
Um,
as do I. And honestly, this
like,
she put through so much. Like she was such a catalyst for this plot,
mhm.
despite the fact that she wasn't really on screen all that often.
Exactly. But I also don't like Jimmy Jr. and I struggle with
Yeah.
a lot of the characters, I think, within this. I mean, I don't really have an opinion on Henry Haber, but who has an opinion on Henry Haber of all
Mm-hmm.
people?
Yeah.
And I gave personal 8, so it's a 22 for me, which still isn't bad.
Okay.
But I do enjoy this episode. It's not like I skip it because there are episodes I'm like, I'm not in the mood. We're skipping. I can't, which is odd to say. Like
Mm-hmm.
usually it just runs, but there's a seriously. Could you not?
Cat.
Yeah, Loki.
Mm.
It's always Loki, I
Always Loki.
swear. Why did we name you that?
He's not silent.
No, it's not. But no, this was a good time. All I can think though is this next week coming up,
Mm-hmm.
we have the 2-episode finale of Once Upon a Time,
Yep.
and you have Gale Tales.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
It's gonna be interesting. I don't know anything about Gale Tales other than the fact that I'm assuming this is gonna be their anthology episode for the season.
And it's Gale
And
centered.
it's Gale focused. So okay, that's gonna be
So if
interesting.
this is not if you're not a fan of this one, I'll be severely concerned
We shall
because
see.
you like both of those things.
I do like both of those things, so we shall see. Thank you all for listening. Join us next time when we discuss the Once Upon a Time Season 2 finale, episodes 221 and 222, Second Star to the Right, and Straight On Till Morning. Don't forget to like, rate, and follow the podcast wherever you listen so you can be notified every time we publish a new episode. Follow us at OBDYK_pod on Instagram and TikTok. And if you'd like to join our book club, you can find the link with more details in our show notes.
This has been an episode of Okay, But Did You Know? A TV and media podcast. It was hosted by Katie and Lauren and edited by Katie.